Hey, what's up guys, it's TBone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about how you can take down an Ascended Gem Silence Warden. I'll be using my team for practice so you can see how it works. There are a couple of teams that you can assemble to deal with Ascended Gem Silence Wardens, and the one that I'm going to show is the one that I found to be the more effective. The first card is a Yoran Pest, which delays an enemy for 2 turns. This is the main card that will help you survive the many turns needed to take down the Warden, but it does have a 20 gem charge rate, so we'll talk about how to meet that requirement next. The second card is the Gemjombre, which is a gemfall card that works the best when going against the Gem Silence Warden. The reason is that Gem Silence will prevent your gem spawners from spawning the gems required to power up your Pest. However, it does not stop the gemfall mechanism, so it won't stop you from getting lots of gem matches. The third card I use is the Earth Dragoon Noxious Nepenthe. It's basically a 4-star version of Sweet Steel Hanzo with the same 9 gem charge rate and 2 turn cooldown. Note that you can make this work with 2 copies of Hanzo as well. The most important part of this setup is using 2 of the Earth Gem Fall cards. Because they have a 2 turn cooldown, you can use one of them every turn. The fourth card is the Big Bad Wolf, which is a gem destroyer that will help trigger the gemfall mechanism. This card is very useful because it only has a 1 turn cooldown, so you can use it every turn to complement the gemfall cards. This card is available from the current dust pool, but since it's a warden, it will only be available in the 4-star hero pool. Finally, I use Macrine as the revive card to survive turn 1 and deal enough nuke damage to take out the warden. It requires God Intensity, and in my setup I have 4 God Relics to help boost the intensity. I managed to pick up 2 of the Clairvoyant Blades from the starter pack for World of Visions, and it has been very helpful. So now let's take this team and go up against a Gem Silence Ascended Warden and see how it goes and how we can actually activate the cards. So I've actually set up the cards so that you just need to activate them from left to right for ease of use. And so the first thing you want to do is make sure that you match enough gems so that you can power up your Pest, which is the most important thing. Once it's done, then you're going to revive through Macrine, and then when you activate from left to right, notice I only activate 4 of them. And that is because Gemjombre and Noxious Nepenthe both have a 2 turn cooldown. And so what you want to do is you want to save one of them and alternate them so that you only activate 1 at a time. All the other cards have a 1 turn cooldown, so you can activate them anytime they're available. You also want to make sure that you activate Macrine for an additional benefit of increasing the God Intensity. Remember that God Intensity is what will increase the overall nuke damage of Macrine, and that is our win condition here. We need to get the intensity high enough so that you can deal enough damage to actually damage the Warden. Notice that I have 3 cudgels here, and one of them is also a healing cudgel, and so it's even more important to get the intensity higher because you need to deal enough damage to actually overpower the healing ability of the cudgel here. And that is about the 2000 intensity mark there. So we've skipped over about 15 minutes or so of actual fighting, and we're now close to 2000 intensity. And you can see that every time that Macrine deals damage, it actually deals more damage than it can heal back. And so this is the start of the process where you can actually start seeing progress towards taking down the Ascended Warden here. And one of the tips I also want to cover is what you should do when you get closer to actually defeating the boss. So once the health of the boss has been taken down enough, you can actually start activating everything except for the Yoran Pest. And the reason you want to do that is because you actually want to save the turn delay from Yoran Pest for the next boss and the next wave. Keep in mind that the only way that you're going to be able to damage and also defeat a boss is through Macrine. And if you do that after activating Yoran Pest, your very next wave is going to start and you're not going to be able to delay the turn and you'll lose the fight that way. And so make sure that you get the turn counter to about 10 or so, and then you can stop using it because you have enough turns to actually be safe. And so at this point, we just need 1 more hit from Macrine, and then we'll be able to take out our very first Warden in this particular fight. And so what you can see here is we activated the way we haven't activated. Notice that you can see that the Gem Silence hasn't impacted us at all. And so we go ahead and use Macrine, and then we take down the boss, and then when the very next wave starts, we go ahead and activate both the Yoran Pest as well as the Noxious Nepenthe. We also have enough gems on the board to begin with so that we can do a match here plus the gem fall, and so that can actually give us the number of gem matches required to power up Yoran Pest again. And then from this point on, we can actually continue the cycle, and what we can do here is just keep keep going with the same way. Repeat the same cycle of cards activation and also paying attention to the health of the boss in each wave. So with that, we can actually successfully take down every single boss in the entire fight, and I was able to successfully defeat all 5 wardens in my skirmish there. Overall, this fight took about 37 minutes, so it definitely is a long fight and it does take a lot of patience, but with this particular setup, it is possible, and so that's what I wanted to share with you. And that is all for today's episode. Now, what I want to talk about in the next coming episodes are teams that you can use to take down other Ascended Wardens such as Alacrity, because this team isn't going to take down all the possible teams there, and so we can cover those in a future episode. So stay tuned there. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.